Welcome to Writing Actively and Clearly, presented by the Regent University Writing Lab, with principles drawn from Style, Lessons in Clarity and Grace by Joseph M. Williams and Joseph Bizup. When you're writing an academic paper, you'll want to focus on using the active voice. You'll write actively to present your ideas more clearly and concisely than in the passive voice. So how do you write actively? You'll place the subjects first, then the verb, and finally the object. Active voice states who is doing the action, what the main action is, and what the subject is acting on. Active voice uses the most important actions in a sentence as the verbs. For instance, John hit the ball. An academic example would be Williams stresses the importance of writing long sentences clearly because this creates graceful writing. However, you can still use the passive voice in academic writing, but you should do so purposefully. The primary uses of passive voice are shifting emphasis from the subject to the object, maintaining clarity when the author doesn't know the subject, and transitioning from old information to new information. So what is passive voice? The sentence is in passive voice if the verb contains a to-be verb. These include am, is, are, was, were, be, being, and been, paired with a past tense verb or past participle. In addition, passive voice places the object first, then the verb, and finally the subject. For instance, our examples above become, the ball was hit by John. The importance of writing long sentences clearly was stressed by Williams because this creates graceful writing. Now that you know how to identify your verbs, you'll want to focus on your subject. Williams encourages you to make the subjects of most of your verbs the main characters in your story. He believes that concrete flesh and blood characters are best. For instance, the tennis champion defended his title in the French Open and won is easy to understand because you have a character completing the action and a strong active verb. Your audience immediately knows who is doing the action and what happened. Regardless, when you're choosing your characters, make sure you use pronouns wisely. You want to avoid unclear characters. If your sentence contains vague pronouns or lacks a strong subject, your audience will not understand who is doing the action. For instance, when the tennis ball landed over the line, he knew that he won the match. Who is he? However, when you use flesh and blood characters, your audience understands your sentence's meaning. In our sentence above, let's add in a character. Now the sentence reads, Rafael Nadal knew that he won the match when the tennis ball landed over the line. The reader now immediately understands that he refers to Rafael Nadal. Let's practice. How to revise your sentences. Step 1. Identify passive voice. And these include to-be verbs and the past participle. Step 2. Find the character or characters who relates to the main action of the sentence. Look at the subjects of your sentence. If you cannot find characters there, then look to see if they are hidden elsewhere in the sentence. Step 3. Make your subject a character. Step 4. Choose an active verb and pair it with the new subject. Like step 2, check if an active verb is already hidden in the sentence. Let's practice the 4 steps with the following example. Once upon a time, as a walk through the woods was taking place on the part of Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf's jump out from behind a tree occurred, causing her fright. The current verbs are was taking place and occurred, while the hidden actions are walk, jump, and fright. The current subjects are a walk through the woods and the wolf's jump, while the hidden characters are Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf. Using the 4 steps, our revised sentence becomes, once upon a time, Little Red Riding Hood was walking through the woods when the wolf jumped out from behind a tree and frightened her. Now your audience will understand your main ideas clearly.
For additional resources or further explanation, visit the Writing Lab. We offer scheduled appointments, virtual walk-in sessions, and writing resources at www.regent.edu/writing. Thank you for watching and making the most of your Regent experience.